and welcome to our weekly program, SALCC Updates, where we tell you about the happenings at the South Louis Community College. As usual, I have a guest in studio with me today, and he is bringing some exciting news, so please make sure you stay tuned to the whole program for that. And just so you know, we are still accepting applications to the South Louis Community College. All of our programs are open. Remember to go to the website at www.salcc.edu.lc to find out more about our programs and to apply. And remember, we provide several pathways to the college, and that's one of those we're going to be talking about later. But also, we will be bringing you our summer sessions very soon. So if you don't meet all of the requirements to enter our associate degree and bachelor degree programs, there will be an opportunity for you to be able to fill in those prerequisites. So by next week, we should be bringing you the schedule and the registration for our summer sessions. And now I'm going to present to you another opportunity that the community college is providing you with once you have completed a program with the college. We have partnerships with a few universities, and today we have a representative from Western Illinois University. Dr. Randy Glean is joining us today. He is no stranger to St. Lucia or to the Caribbean or to the South Louis Community College. So let me welcome Dr. Glean. Thank you for joining us here for SALCC Updates.
Absolutely.
And let's start, just give us a little background or history to your affiliation with the South Louis Community College.
Oh, this goes way back. I think it's more than 27 years strong working with the college. I've probably recruited over 200 grads of the college, yourself included, and others, to university in the States. My affiliation with SARTH is my affiliation with St. Lucia in general. Some of the most brilliant students from the Caribbean come from this island, no doubt, with all the Nobel Prize winners and the notoriety for excellence. And so working with the college is a natural fit. We believe that students should take all the education that's available for them on island, simply because of the quality of the teaching, the structural relevance to what they did in high school, and then it would be a better launching pad for them to come to university. So that's the context.
Great. So now you're representing Western Illinois University. Tell us a little bit about the university before we actually get into the partnership.
Absolutely. Well, I'm representing the Caribbean first, and always. I will always say that in every island. My interest is my people. My interest is Caribbean students. It does not matter if I'm employed by an institution. I'm a civil servant. I'm a state employee. I have no personal incentive. So my interest is in spreading the wealth in terms of creating opportunities and access, as I've done for almost 30 years for students from the Caribbean. In this case, we're speaking about St. Lucia. So I've been at Western Illinois for just 2 years. We all have to move on and upward in our careers, so it's a more senior position, which allows me to do more things in terms of making more opportunities available for students from St. Lucia and the rest of the Caribbean.
Great. So Western Illinois is a state university, as you said.
Right.
And so it offers full 4-year degree programs, masters, PhDs. Can you just tell us a little bit about the offerings?
Absolutely. There are more than 60 bachelor's degree programs, more than 30 master's degree programs, 3 doctoral programs. And yes, they're all available. And the good thing is the structure allows students from the Caribbean to start online. Again, a massive cost saver. As you know, you didn't have that opportunity back in the day. But COVID has just sort of conditioned them to doing school online. So it should be a natural fit, natural transition. It's something that's becoming the way of the future with U.S. universities. So I think the pathway that makes the most sense is Sir Arthur Lewis, 1 year online, come up for 2 years. Some of our degree programs, for example, we did a partnership with Sir Arthur Lewis in the nutrition program. Dr. Andrew Regis Andrew came up, but we organized that structure. Students can do that program mostly online or fully online, or come up for just one final year to get their degrees. We're going to have discussions about partnership in 2 or 3 other doctoral areas in accounting, baccalaureate degree areas in accounting, in supply chain management. We're going to look at, just any third area that's a natural fit to continue. So yes, there will be a vibrant partnership between Sir Arthur Lewis and Western Illinois going forward.
You've run ahead of me, so let's slow down and back up just a bit.
Okay.
Okay, so Sir Arthur Lewis offers associate degree programs.
Right.
Can you just speak to what the exchange is, both in terms of credits, if that is possible? If there's a set number, I know some universities will, after they evaluate your program,
right,
they will have a set number of credits. So just walk us a little bit so people understand through the process of how you come
right
to the transfer.
Right. Well, the admission process is very straightforward. It's premised on your Sir Arthur Lewis or CAPE transcript. So when we get a student, we look at what they've done that's academic, that's transferable, and it could be a lot of the general ed curriculum and some of the substantive curriculum in a particular field. Mm-hmm. So if they did business, then some of the business courses will transfer. So the transfer regime will stop at year 1 and year 2 university. Because you are a community college, then you wouldn't get year 3 courses. Mm-hmm. But what we have found is that we can articulate very easily with the transcripts from Sir Arthur Lewis, so that students are getting pretty much close to full value. They may miss an English class here or there, or in the engineering cases, we kind of want them to do more physics and calculus.
And math, yeah.
And yeah, so essentially they may have 4 or 5 courses short of getting 2 full years, mm-hmm, maybe 6, but we allow them to just do those online then. So they're coming up with 2 years to go. Now, if a student is in engineering it's premised generally on a 5-year run. So we have civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, engineering technology, construction management. We have degrees in all those areas. So students can come up then, and some of those, engineering, technology, construction management, can still be done in 2 years after that 1 year online. But the hardcore engineering, civil, electrical, mechanical, probably needs 3 years on campus, because you need to touch equipment. You need to use and utilize technology a little bit more in your learning. So I think we prefer to have them trained as well as educated.
That's very exciting to see how, particularly in our engineering programs, yeah, the specific programs we offer in mechanical and electrical, right, we don't always find universities matching those, and it, right, seems there's quite a fit there between Sir Arthur Lewis and Western Illinois. So we made it work in the sense that we looked at your core curriculum, and we kind of equated it to some of the courses we taught. We didn't give it slap 2+2 value, so we did fill in the missing, and like I said, there is missing physics, there is missing calculus, there is an English class here or there, but your curriculum is very solid. So you have taken care of the social science, you've taken care of the humanities, you know, it's a well-balanced curriculum. It's very user-friendly, adaptable to U.S. institutions in general. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if I sound like I'm just praising your institution, some transcripts are very difficult to work with, but, you know, I can look at yours, Dominica State College. They're both very easy to work with, because the people who put it together had some cognizance that there will be transfer and transferability issues down the line. Yes, so I'll just put in a plug for the college. So many years ago, I think our institution sort of led what the community colleges within the Windward Islands and the OECS would, right, have done. So there was some kind of template that, yes, should be across the islands. I, yes, think that started under Dame Paulette Louisi when, yes, she was, absolutely, principal at the college. So there was quite a bit of work that went in there.
And it shows.
So, okay, so we're talking about, and that is important for people to understand, mm-hmm, that the university first evaluates the curriculum, right, of the college so that they could make those transfers.
Absolutely.
So there is a rigorous process that yes, is followed there, and that gives credence, right, to the community college. Right. Give or take some courses that are short, because it's only 2 years at a community college. Right. So that is something that I'm happy to hear you say, and I hope it encourages, right, St. Lucians to come to Sir Arthur Lewis Community College before they progress to a higher level.
And I can vouch for, I mean, the level of rigor and you know, and the veracity, if you want to put it that way, of the curriculum. The students that we have so far have validated their grades at the university, so they're replicating, if not exceeding, the levels they had at Sir Arthur Lewis when they get to university. So that's the sure indicator that if we think we're good, then your curriculum is good enough. One of the things I would say is the articulation process is what you described.
Yes.
We didn't just say, you got 48 hours, here's 48 hours.
Exactly.
No, we looked at every single course. We read the description, mm-hmm, we looked at the content, even looked at the qualification of the person teaching it. And we articulated those courses. Yes, we believe this meets university level credit, and so we accorded it. We've had students who did CAPE in conjunction with an associate's degree and would end up with 63 credits. Now, 48 might be directly applicable, you know that.
Yes,
and then so they may be missing 12 more credits to make up 2 years, and then they go into the senior curriculum at the university. Perfect. The important thing to recognize is that's a cost saver as well. You're not paying for the same thing twice. You really are at that level when you get to university.
Okay, great. So you've spoken to at least 2 specific programs,
Right.
in nutrition and in engineering, where there's definitely an articulation agreement.
Right.
Are there any others you think that stand out that you need? Because there's a wide range, but are there any other specific ones that you think would
Yeah,
be
well,
of
all
interest?
programs are available
Yes.
and amenable, but the specific programs that we partnered on to sort of mesh the degree, we can work on several others. There's a discussion about environmental and GIS, Geographic Information Systems. That's, it's a tech area that you don't teach specifically, but we see that your geography environmental program can mesh into the GIS program, and that there is a market
Yes.
for geospatial and GIS engineering here, as well as in the United States, frankly. So we're trying to get that program articulated as well. Accounting and supply chain management, and a lot of these programs are fully online. So for the mature crowd, that we haven't spoken about, they can come through Sir Arthur Lewis and go all the way through to the degree program without leaving St. Lucia. And even those who graduate can continue on. We have integrated programs that's bachelor's to master's with just 1 extra year.
Wow.
So you can invest 1 extra year, come up to the baccalaureate direct to master's programs in several areas, including areas like computer science. So, I mean, the flexibility is what I've always wanted, and having that flexibility then to match up with a college and make things work, that's what's exciting.
That is very exciting.
Yeah.
I know very often we have a large number of students who do subjects like business and the humanities, and having worked with you before, I know there's a push towards STEM.
Absolutely.
I really want you to give in a plug and encourage, we'll get to the mature, give in a plug and encourage our young high school students who are looking to plot their pathway now, and who the college is now engaging with in terms of even choosing their subjects for CSEC, how valuable having a STEM degree is.
Absolutely. So, says the political scientist to the mass communications person, I'll say this, the world has changed. And while there is always a need for persons in all areas, sure you need psychology grads, so you need political science and mass communication grads, but if you're coming to the US, you are making an investment, and you have to determine what is an acceptable ROI. What is that return you want on that investment? The universities assist you. We will assist as well. We would give significant scholarships to reduce costs. But ultimately, you are not going to school for free. You're making an investment in your education. So I'll say this very carefully. If it is your intent to stay in the US and build a life, and the structure allows you to do that, you will get a work permit when you graduate. So to think in terms of how the U.S. government values it, if you were to do my field, and I put my field in political science, you will get a 1-year work permit. If you were to do a STEM field, however, let's say you did GIS, or you did forensic chemistry or biochemistry, you would get a 1+2, a 3-year work permit. The U.S. government is clearly communicating who it really is interested in keeping in the U.S. economy. The job prospects are great. Once you do anything that science, technology, engineering, mathematics, healthcare is not quote-unquote STEM in terms of the work permit, but it's a good area to get into. If you do nursing, lab tech, radiology, any of those areas, these are good areas. Education now, because of the great resignation in the U.S., there is a great teacher shortage. The state of Illinois has 22,000 teacher jobs open. Great possibilities.
Okay, great. I actually wanted to get to education when we come back from a break, but yes, a lot of information there for us. St. Lucia, stay tuned. We are speaking with Dr. Randy Glean from the Western Illinois University. We will take a short break and we'll be right back.
Are you looking to broaden your career opportunities? Future-proof your career with a bachelor's degree from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. We've introduced new cutting-edge degree programs in environmental studies and sustainability, tourism and hospitality, business administration, and public health. Online platforms are making it easier than ever before to further your education and mask your competitive advantage. This is the game changer you've been waiting for. Get the highest return on your investment in the OECS from the college you trust. Visit salcc.edu.lc. Apply today for September 2021.
Welcome back to SALCC Updates. My guest today is Dr. Randy Glean, and Dr. Glean is representing Western Illinois University, who has a partnership with the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, and we were talking about the nitty-gritties of transfer credits, and we left off speaking about how valuable having a STEM degree is, and you were moving into another area. But I want to start that off. You mentioned a pathway for mature students as well. And I know we have graduates for many years who have left Sir Arthur Lewis and have not upgraded, have not gotten, this is also for them. So speak a little to, and then we'll move into the benefit for educators.
Sure. For those graduates who need to upgrade, top up, it's easier now because, you know, these are people who probably have mortgage, kids, responsibility, they're mature. They don't have to leave home if they don't want to. Online education, just reach out and you'll find out it's way less costly. You cannot imagine how low cost it could be. I don't want to drop figures, but if you had good grades, you can do this at a very, very, very affordable rate now at Western Illinois University. So don't hesitate. Or if you are at the point where you want to see what's out there, you want to go out for a short time, get your degree, maybe check the job market and see, this is a good time to do it. There is no age limit. People ask me, well, I'm 42, 43. 42, 43 is a young person today. You know, I mean, people are living to be 95 years old. Don't be afraid to pick up and make that move.
And as you speak to the low cost online, particularly when you stay at home, I think people underestimate the cost of boarding when you travel to study.
Absolutely.
So before we get into university life, etc., because it's an experience that you should also have, particularly as a young person. But can you give them a sense of what the real cost of education is when you have to go overseas?
Oh yeah, I mean, universities do a great job in general in reducing the cost of tuition. We, for example, a student who has a 3.5 or higher would pay just literally about a third of the cost of their education. They would be scholarship for about 2/3 of that cost. And in real figures, we're talking like less than $6,000 US a year. When you consider that the average cost of a US university is $36,000, I mean, that's what Americans pay. So if you're paying that little, but what we can't control is just cost of living in the US in general is much higher. So a lot of your costs is health insurance, room, board, rent, incidentals, books. These are the things that drive food. Well, yeah, absolutely. These drive up the cost. So interestingly enough, though, I'll come back to Western Illinois. We're in a really small town. It's a small town, but the quality of our housing, you know, and you could probably see some examples of it, the quality of our housing is awesome. You have really nice apartment complexes really close to campus. We have really nice high-rise dorms and stuff, you know, that you can choose to live on campus or off campus. There's no shortage of housing, but the cost is fractions of what you would pay if you were in a big city, if you were in Dallas, Texas, if you were in New York City, Atlanta, in those cities. The cost is phenomenal, but you know, we're talking, I mean, literally a small percentage of the cost relative to like a New York or California. So having opportunities in smaller cities, that's smarter. You know it, I mean, yourself. Yes. I always advise students to start off in calm, quiet, low-cost places.
Definitely.
You could always migrate later, but when you're in school, you don't want to make a statement when you don't have money or you're on borrowed money.
And it also helps you focus when you're in a small city, because you can get very, very distracted in a big city. So, yeah, having studied in a small city, I can vouch for that.
You know, I compare Macomb, Illinois, where Western Illinois University is, to like a Mico or Dennery, or, you know.
Nice village type.
Nice, beautiful. Yes. I'm more of an ancillary guy, but, you know, I like my fishing villages. But, you know, these little inward places, it's agricultural and very, very calm.
Okay, nice. So you give us a little bit about what it is, university life, and we showed some of those amazing photos. But again, keep in mind that there are two options. You said they can do it online,
Right.
or if you want to travel and experience the U.S., you can also do that.
Or in combination. One is not exclusive of the other. You can start online, come to campus whenever you're ready. You can do 2 years online, and if it's possible to do many of the degrees, may be possible to do a lot of the business degrees. It's possible to do them in just 1 year in person. We've adapted curricula because of COVID. So almost all the offerings had to be put online. Certain things you cannot do online. Lab sciences, you need to be there. You know, the engineering, you need to be there. And the subjects that are more technical, where you need to touch equipment, you need to be there. But you said correctly, the experience for a young person, you should come and get that experience and take a shot at the U.S. job market. You know, there are 14 million open jobs in the United States today. This is an economy that's crying for people. You know, hopefully they make the immigration process a little bit more user-friendly. But, you know, we need educated people, and it's bad to say this sitting in St. Lucia because I'm promoting a brain drain, and that's terrible, but we actually produce way more quality than these small economies could absorb. And getting some experience and some time abroad, and then coming back with additional expertise, that's great for St. Lucia. I think it's great for the Caribbean.
Well, you've already dealt with the elephant in the room, so if anybody thinks that's what you're promoting, you've dealt with it adequately. And some of us do return. We actually do our graduate studies. Sometimes we get a shot at the U.S. market and we come back home. Right. So there are definitely options.
It's a good way to do it.
Yes. So we're talking about how beautiful it is to study overseas, and parents are listening to you and thinking, what happens when I send my 18 or 19-year-old all the way across to the small city in Illinois? Tell us about that transition.
Right. Well, first of all, don't think Chicago, because, I mean, Illinois connotes Chicago. This is not Chicago. We're 3 hours away from Chicago. So safety issues and stuff you really don't need to be concerned about. It's, you know, you can get in trouble there if you want to get in trouble. You have to go find it. It won't find you. But we take good care of our students. You know the pedigree there. If a student's coming, that student is really my responsibility. I take a personal interest in every one of the students. That has not changed, will not change. What makes Western Illinois great? It's another state school, but it has me. I mean, this is not an ego. This is me, the servant mentality. I'm going to make sure a Caribbean kid is okay. I'm going to make sure he gets the best opportunities. I'm going to make sure he gets the best scholarships. When he's ready to go to grad school, I'm going to be there. I plan to do the exact same things. I'll be calling any one of my 50 contacts, you know the drill, and making sure that person is getting off to his master's, to his doctorate. You know, I have students from St. Lucia, from the region, who have doctorates now because we pushed them. And we pushed them. They went to school where I went to school. You know, that pipeline has not closed. You know, if you've done something for this long, as I have, pretty much my whole career, you sort of become kind of the mentor, the dean, if you will, of those in this field. So almost anyone of color who is doing this, they know me. Someone told me, you need to have a conversation with Randy about how you go about building your career. So I know the whole establishment. I could probably 50 or 60 people in different institutions that I know who are in this world of international students, plus those who were colleagues and schoolmates who are senior in different universities. So when I need to get a kid, whether he's chemistry, biology, history, I can get him off to grad school and influence the process of his funding. So I'm very comfortable after all these years.
And so parents should be very comfortable with the students transitioning to Western Illinois. And again, you have Arthur as a bridge.
Absolutely.
Randy has personal relationships with us at the college, having done this for, like I said, almost 30 years.
Right.
I'm being one of the grads who went through the program, not to Western Illinois, but to another university. We can attest to that.
Sure.
So Randy, I know there are new opportunities you started to allude to in education.
Right.
Can you tell us a little more about that?
Absolutely, and you'll actually be hearing this for the first time, so this will get me in trouble. This will get me in absolute trouble. But again, this is one of the cases where I will, full disclosure, I'm not necessarily representing the region, but I'm representing individuals who may have already given a few years of service. They're teachers, and they're thinking, you know, my kids are coming up, I may want to look to see what's out there, so that when they're ready for university, I'm settled in the States. Or if you're thinking along those lines, again, I'm not trying to poach your teachers, but the many job openings in the state of Illinois caused us to create a partnership with the K through 12 establishment. And one of the things I promise them is that when I go to a place I know there are great teachers, the region, I will look to see, and being very careful with all my words, look to see how many teachers are interested in pursuing an opportunity to teach in Illinois. In order to do that, they need a bachelor's degree, of course, and they don't necessarily need to be certified. Just having a bachelor's degree and teaching experience, they will come up, they will start online for 1 year and do the first year of what we call the MAT, the Masters of Arts in Teaching. Here's the good part. When they come up in year 2, they're coming up once they're selected as a probationary teacher. So they don't have to borrow money and stuff to come finish their master's. They will actually be earning the money as the probationary teacher directly in the classroom to finish off their second year with the master's, with the guarantee of a second year teaching utilizing OPT. So they're going straight to the classroom. We use a mechanism called curricular practical training, CPT. So they go straight to the classroom. Then then the second year, they're also guaranteed employment. And of course, the hope is the districts are on board and they understand that. The hope is that the district will file after they've seen that teacher for a year or so, or in year 2, they will file for the H-1B to give them a long-term permit. So the prospect is for long-term employment, possibly a green card. Small districts need this. Here's something that's really good, and again, I'll get in trouble for this, but I'll take my chances. The minimum salary guaranteed is $40,000 US, the minimum for any teacher. So, and some districts will not necessarily pay the minimum, they'll pay higher. So this is what we're talking about. So you start the program online. If you're successful, you will interview with the district. They like you. You're a probationary teacher at $40,000, yes, per year when you come up. So you understand how you'll pay for your year 2 now that you're in person and you'll have room board. But you will be living not where we are. You'll be living anywhere in the state of Illinois, and they want to keep you. The shortage is acute. They absolutely cannot see a way to get the teachers they need. So what do they need? I'll use a cricket analogy. They need the big 6. You know when you hit that big 6, you're in the house. So they need chemistry, biology, physics, mathematics. They need special education, which is not STEM, but in great demand, and ECE, early childhood education. So then someone asked me in Dominica, so you're talking about the 6, what about the 4? 4 is a good score. I said, okay, fine. Well, let's go for the 4. So you could also, if you have Spanish, you could be in one of those that's needed, but more in the urban areas. So I'm more inclined to pull teachers to the small towns. Just again, Chicago could be quite a rude awakening for someone from the Caribbean. But you have Spanish. There was there are a couple other areas like in the arts, like if you're in specialty in certain areas of music. So if you did music education, that's fine. That's a 4. And other languages, not necessarily French, but if you somehow have Chinese or Arabic or one of those, that's needed as well. And then guidance and counseling.
Interesting.
So those areas would be in the 4. So for those who say, well, I want to be a social science teacher, well, that one will get a thick edge and the wicket keeper will catch it. That one will be out.
But let's take this back to how you can ground this in a relationship with South Louis, because now we are doing our Bachelor of Education, and that's specifically for primary education. So you're saying that persons qualified with that can get into a master's program? Did I hear that?
Absolutely. It's called the MAT, Master of Arts in Teaching. And what that program does, it gives you some upgrade on your content area, some pedagogy, some styles and structures, how to teach in the States, and then you get the certification with your master's degree. So you will, once you presumably are successful, you will pass the certification, you'll do the license, you'll become a licensed teacher in the state of Illinois. It doesn't lock you into that state. I mean, Illinois can have real winters, can be kind of cold. So, but the demand is in the Midwest. Yeah, you can teach in Iowa and in Indiana and neighboring states, Missouri. So good possibilities.
You've given us a lot to go with, a lot of opportunities, a lot of food for thought, and the information is going to go out there. So thank you so much for joining us here today, Randy. I know you had success at your meetings on Monday and Tuesday with the students, and the pipeline is through South Louis Community College, so get in touch with us if you want to learn more about our partnership with Western Illinois University. Thank you so much for joining us for SALCC Weekly. See you again next week.